Hey, you listen to Nothing's Off the Table, the podcast with no subjects too taboo to discuss. If you don't like it, why don't you take your ass somewhere else?
Yeah, I know they all look alike.
No, they don't.
And the Earth is...
Flat.
The Earth is flat.
My reality, my senses tell me that the Earth is flat and stationary.
Everybody here can agree on absolutely one thing, which is it is not a globe.
So you're saying that when far-right groups come here and throw demonstrations and have their rallies, they don't necessarily have to throw the first punch in order for you to react violently?
The purpose of these groups in coming to Portland is to attack people.
God hates America, vile land of the sodomite damned, the most ungrateful and the most arrogant anti-God nation that ever existed.
Enter the Phelps Clan and other followers of the Westboro Baptist Church in Topeka, Kansas, who've become infamous for picketing the funerals of gay people with signs that carry slogans like, God hates facts.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to yet another episode of Nothing's Off the Table. I've got with me my co-host, Vinnie. What up, Vinnie?
What's going on, Andy?
Over there, you fucking tough guy. All sweaty bastard and shit. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Our guest tonight, I would like to introduce. We're gonna call him Stewie. So Stewie is a former Navy SEAL who does a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a whole lot of nothing, but that's cool. Stewie, welcome to the show, my brother.
Hey guys, appreciate it. Glad you guys had me on. Sorry it's taking me so long to get here.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that later. So right off the bat, the first question I have for you is, how long is Buds?
Buds is 6 months.
Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, 6 months is a number, right?
6 months is a number.
And there's 30 days per month.
Mm-hmm.
So
drink up, Steve.
That's about 180 days, which sounds like math to me. Let's just get that out of this.
I see how this is going to go. Like that. Yeah. So if you take 12 divided by 6, that's how many months you get for Buds.
Oh, got it.
So,
okay. That's
how many months it is.
That's also math. Cool. So Buds is Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL School, correct?
Yes, sir. There it is.
And
you got the acronyms right.
Yeah, well,
get it right.
Any jackass can read a book. As long as it's got pictures in it for me, I'm good. So we already discussed it's a 6-month school, and they say it's the toughest school in the military. Actually, in basically any military organization around the world.
Yeah, that's what they say. I know it was tough. And one of the things that I get asked all the time is, how hard was it? Is it the most difficult thing you've ever done? And up to that point, yes. Mm-hmm. I joined straight out of high school. I got sworn into the Navy when I was 17 years old, shipped off to Buds right out of high school. And yeah, it was a real kick in the nuts. I'm not going to lie. Lots of sleepless nights, lots of days running on, just a couple hours of sleep. And that's your life. It's wash, rinse, repeat. Get up, get your ass kicked, and eat a little bit, go back, get a little bit more ass kicking, go eat, go to bed, do it all over again. And it's just one of those things that you just got to shut your brain off, stop thinking, and just do, and just follow instructions. If you do that, it's easy, man.
Meal to meal.
Yeah, it's one of the, exactly. It's an hour to hour thing, meal to meal thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I bring up meals because I'm fat and I like to eat, basically. So,
yeah.
So the hardest part, that's interesting that you say that, Buds, you thought was the hardest thing you ever did.
Yeah.
Until after it was over.
Until it was over and I got into the teams and went through a couple of our training cycles and some of the things that we do on ULT, they make you wish that you were a Bud sometimes. You're just like, God, this sucks. This is horrible.
So what is ULT?
So ULT is unit level training. And
Okay.
It's what we do. And it's about 9 months out of the year, hopping around from state to state, doing a lot of stuff. Back at the beach in Virginia, it's just all the different.
So your workup cycle, your training cycle, basically.
Yeah. So you got your VBSS, which is your hook and ladder stuff that you kind of like read about. some of these guys hooking on the bigger ships, going up, doing takedowns. You got your land warfare cycles, your CQC, which is close quarters combat, which is all the stuff that you see in all the movies, breaking down the door and then getting there, clearing the house, killing bad guys. So that's 9 months out of the year, and then you deploy for 8 months and then come back, get a little bit of time off, and then do it again. So.
Now let me ask you, fuck, there it goes again, that CRS kicking in. Man, I had a question I was going to ask you, and there it goes. Anyway, so when you came in and you went to Buds, I'm just showing my age a little bit. All SEALs now are special operators, right? There's no more source ratings. There's
everybody's an SO.
So
I'm not exactly what year that all happened, but when I got in, that's what it was.
Okay.
And so I don't know any different.
Yeah, that was the main question I was going to ask. So did you specialize in anything once you were at the teams?
Yeah. So when I was in the teams, I was our primary comms guy.
Okay.
And so, fortunately for me, we had some guys that were secondary. So when we were in Afghanistan, I got to do some kicking down the door stuff too. But most of the time, for myself, and I enjoyed it. It was fun. You're sitting back in C2 with all your head shit, and I'm taking what is being told to me over the radio from my guys, and then painting a picture for it for the people back at the FOB, back in the JOC. So you got like the CEO of the team, the Master Chief, Command Master Chief, and all those guys. And, I'm coming over through SAT and telling them everything that's going on so that they have an idea and a picture, a mental picture, and they're able to kind of help us, make some decisions, especially like when firefights start going on. It's a little important. Communications is important. Without it, there's no ops. So I always loved having that job.
So as a comms guy, we had a guy on my show last year actually. He's a flat Earth guy, right? So he thinks the Earth is flat, all this bullshit. And as a communicator, I'm sure you're well aware that the Earth is not flat.
It's not flat, yeah.
So there's a lot of with comms frequency hopping, things like that. And if I'm not mistaken, what are like what's the primary frequency that you guys would use?
I mean, frequencies changed all the time, just depending on what the.
I guess the point I'm trying to get across is there were numbers involved in those frequencies.
So higher frequencies, more powerful, especially when you're doing like UHV, like high frequencies. I'm sorry?
Isn't numbers math?
Yes.
Numbers is math. Yeah. Is that where you were trying to go?
Yeah, totally. You jumped the gun on that, Vinny, but that's cool. That's where I was going.
It was actually a point.
There was a point to it.
There was a point to it. Yeah, and I was trying to get it there. I apologize.
No big deal.
Long day at the office. So my brain's still playing catch up. So. But yeah.
Stewie.
Yeah.
I just want to roll it back a little bit for the 98% of us that weren't in the military. During a typical training routine, how much gear were you guys made to carry? What kind of weight was that?
I would say the average guy is probably carrying an extra 40 pounds on him. When I was a new guy, you're going to be the AW gunner, which AW is just automatic weapon. So you're carrying like a 48, a 46, big gun, weighs 20 some pounds on its own. And then you're carrying, 400 or 500 rounds. And then you're asking a couple of your buddies to carry an extra couple hundred for you. And some of us guys, you get the load out. And, there was times in Afghanistan where I was wearing 80 to 90 extra pounds, with my ruck and everything. And I'm a small guy. When I was there, luckily I was able to bulk up a little bit and got up to a whole 180. But, yeah, so I was hurting sometimes. Especially on some of those.
I'm just wondering how that compares. Andy, as we all know, was in the Navy.
Yeah.
First, Andy, when you're prancing around the hospital in your Crocs, do you have to wear a lot of gear as well?
Yes. I have my stethoscope and I have my little fancy pull-down keychain. It's amazing. Ooh, girl, let me tell you.
Well, that's how I look now on a day-to-day basis. So that's something that me and Andy do have in common.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know,
room from John. Did you ever have the chance to shoot a chain gun?
Yeah. So I'm guessing he's talking belt-fed machine gun, a chain gun. Yeah. So that's what the 48s and 46s were. That's yes, and they're a good time, especially when it's real life. Yeah.
That's math. 48. So the Mark 48 is what I'm assuming you're talking about.
I'm sorry?
The Mark 48 is what you're referring to?
Yeah, the Mark 48. Yeah.
So did you ever get a chance to shoot the 60?
When it was I did shoot a 60 mounted one time.
Okay. He said mounted.
Yeah, mounted, right. Yeah, but another gun that kind of took over the 60 there for a while was the 240.
Yeah.
And so we got to shoot a lot of those too at the same time, and use those primarily during some of our urban warfare training. We had them mounted on top of Humvees.
That's a heavy.
So that's the times that I got to shoot those, man. They're a good time.
Yeah, it's a heavy fucking pig to hump, though, man.
Oh, dude, yeah. There's no way I would be carrying that thing around.
Well, we used to carry the 60s, and when I was in weapons company, I was in a heavy guns platoon, so we had 60s, 50s that we would fucking hump the fucking receiver, the fucking tripod, the barrels, and the fucking ammo, and that shit sucks. But that was
sucks to be ancient there, Andy. Sorry.
Fuck off. Anyway, Jesus, I get no love even on my own fucking show here. But so I know when people find out that you're a SEAL, I'm sure the goo-goo eyes come out. Oh, you're a SEAL, and they ask you all these fucking questions and shit. I do have
I can
some.
thank Hollywood for that one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, look what happened to Charlie Sheen. That's all I got to say about it.
There you go.
He got the high five, but you be a SEAL, you can have the high five too. But my questions for you, I want to know the darker, funny fucking stories. That's what I want to know.
Oh, the darker stuff.
The funny, dark shit. Like
funny,
you just fucking smoke some fucking Haji and hey, check this shit out. Those kinds of stories.
So, war stories.
Well, not necessarily war stories. Just funny shit that happens in combat.
Oh man. Okay. So, the first time I ever stepped off of a helo in Afghanistan, that was a good time for me, and it's funny to me, and it's one of those things that you remember the rest of your life. So, here I am, fresh off the plane. I land in Afghanistan, and they're like, "Hey, 3 days. We got the SOP coming up, so get ready." And you're like, "All right, yeah, training, man. I've been training for this. The Navy spent $1 million on me to get me prepared for this." So, the night comes. It's 3 a.m. Yeah, you hop onto a helo and you fly out for a couple hours. You're now up at 10,000 feet elevation, and it's cold, and you're like, "All right, ready to do this." We started humping, and it was me and a couple guys in my BP, and so that's a blocking point. And so what we're doing is that we're moving and we're bounding Overwatch for our main element that's clearing through the green zone, so clearing through the buildings.
Mm-hmm.
But the sun hadn't come up yet, and we're just kind of walking on this ridge, and an hour goes by, sun starts coming up, and we're on the west side of the green zone. Sun comes up in the east, right? So the sun's coming up, and as soon as the sun comes up, it's right in our eyes, and we just start hearing this like fireworks going off over our heads, just bang, 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 and then the dirt starts flying up around you, and you're like, "What the hell's going on?" And it takes a second, and you're like, "Oh wait, this isn't training. This isn't
no shit.
This
right?
is what I trained for. This is real life." And so, me and my buddies, we're about 20 feet away. They happened, and they were both guys that had been to Afghanistan before, so this is nothing new for them. Mm-hmm. And they're about 20, 30 feet in front of me, and like I said, we're walking on this ridge, and so it's not exactly easy for me to get to where they are. And so they're like, "Stewie, find cover, man." And I was like, "All right." So I find this little boulder, like a rock about the size of the helmet that I'm wearing, and I jump down behind it, and I take my ruck off, and I throw it in front of the rock, and I'm just sitting there. and bullets are flying over my head, crashing over my head, and they're just looking at me, and they're all like, "Yeah, dude, yeah." They're like high-fiving each other and pointing at me. And they're coming over comms, and they're like, "Yeah, Stewie's getting fucked up, man. Yeah." Everybody's like, yelling at him. And I was like, man, yeah, my butthole's puckering up right now, guys. It's tough, but and meanwhile, I heard that my platoon leader at the time, he was actually taking a piss, and just kind of like he's I don't know, 300-400 yards away from us, further along the ridge, and they started taking some RPG. There was a couple RPGs that blew up around him, and he's standing there with like his pants, around his ankles, taking a whiz off the side of this cliff. And so the guy doesn't even like pull his pants up. He just grabs all of it. He grabs his bag, his gun, and I can only picture, like you guys, by being told the story. I can only picture, what it looks like. His helmet's, bouncing around. Looks like that guy off Full Metal Jacket, Mr. Whatever that character's name is, the goofy guy. I can only picture him looking like that, carrying his stuff and just running for cover. As RPGs are flying over his head. But so I mean, that's just one of those things. I mean, it's funny, yes, now, but at the time, it's real life and it's a little scary, but yeah, something you can't ever forget. You
got to pop that cherry sometime, right?
Yeah. Right. And why not an hour into your first, or 2 hours into your first op ever, in Afghanistan?
Shit. Go ahead, Vinny.
We have another good question in the room from John Perry. Is there any time during BUD/S training when you thought that you couldn't make it?
I would say every day I was wanting to quit, but I didn't actually think that I was not going to make it. I had a buddy from back home, and he kept on telling me before I left, he's like, dude, just dominate it. He's like, I've known you my entire life. I've known you since we were little kids. He's like, I know you. You can do this. And so every single time that, it was, things were on the negative, and I'm just thinking in my head, I was like, man, I could just listen to these instructors, and the water's cold right now. I'm just on the brink of like hypothermia. There's, they're telling us that there's blankets and hot cocoa and coffee and donuts in the back of the AMBU. They're like, hey man, just jump in, it'll all be over. I'm just like, man, that sounds pretty nice right about now.
I bet.
And then, I would just keep on telling myself, just dominate it. Dan told you, just dominate it. And that little bit, just telling myself over and over, and it helps when you have people back home that your entire life kind of made fun of you for being the little guy, and telling you that you're never gonna really amount to anything. And it's just one of those things that just like you want to shove it in their face. Mm-hmm. So that kind of helps to push you along. But yeah, there's definitely some tough times, but that's that mind over matter thing. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter.
That's right. Hey, Steezo, our phone lines open?
What's that?
The phone lines, are they open?
I believe so. Yes, they are.
Can you put the number up there? Because Jeff apparently really wants to call in, and he keeps calling my fucking phone.
That's because he's an asshole.
And
but, I switched it out. I had the warning up there, and now the phone number's up there. 859-667-4245.
God damn, look.
Speaking of...
Yeah, I can't bleep that.
I don't give a shit. What's that?
Steezo wants to know did Stewie ever vaporize hostiles through a wall?
No, not that I can remember.
Steezo also wants to know how often you got your combat jack on.
And by Steezo, he means Vinny.
Oh, okay.
By Vinny, I mean Rail.
And by him, you mean me. So what's going on here? Yeah, the combat jack. I'm honestly maybe in training, but never. Oh, well, you know what? I'm gonna be real here. I can't think like in the real world I ever did, but maybe in training. Late at night when you got some training real world watch going on, and you're the only one up at 2-3 in the morning. Yeah, why not? You gotta stay awake, right? So.
That's right. Boy, I wouldn't want to be the guy taking a watch after you with comms. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, what the fuck? Why is it sticky?
I polished it up nice here for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet you did.
Hey, the Navy, right?
Yep. Never again volunteer yourself. But so all right, funniest shit that you saw in Buds. There's got to be some hilarious fucking stories from Buds.
Dude, there's a couple good ones that I remember, but honestly, remember how I'll go back to the beginning when I told you that you just gotta shut your brain off.
Yeah. All right, moving right along.
I did that for real, and there's bits and pieces of Buds that I remember, but I mean, and like we said, it's 6 months, and you feel like 6 months. That's a pretty significant portion of your life, and there's hardly any of it that I really remember, like the specifics, but. I do remember in first phase, it was actually just about the week before Hell Week started. So this would have been week 3. And we're having this old retired Master Chief, kind of give us like a pep talk saying, oh, hey guys, I'm here. I was at SEAL Team 6 and I did this, and you could be me one day. And we're all like, just sitting there like, oh yeah, this guy's awesome. And a couple guys had fallen asleep, and there was this one instructor, I'll say Instructor V. His name started with a V. And just this, what you picture a teen guy looking like. This guy was 6'5". He was a little Hispanic, but he had great black, hair that was oiled, greased back, and just shredded. You like 250 pounds, just shredded, tatted up, like everything that you picture in the movies. And he walked, and he kind of had like a knack for being like the asshole instructor that nobody really liked. He didn't want to get on his bad side, but a couple guys fell asleep. So at the exact same time, and I'm not joking. And these guys were, like small guys like me. They were larger dudes. And he goes over, grabs both of them from in the front of their shirt, both of them, beats their heads together and throws them behind the table. Like we're sitting at tables, and he throws them on top of the guys behind them on the table, and like sitting at the table behind them. Like these guys, that's how they were woken up, And then, of course, from there, we all got in trouble, had to go out and hit the surf, get wet and sandy, sugar cookied up, and back into the classroom to listen to this guy talk for another 30 minutes. But it was pretty awesome. And at the time, you're just like, oh my God, that just happened. But I've never seen two dudes hurled across the table like that ever. And I've seen some bar fights too, but nothing like that.
Listen, I'm enjoying the hell out of talking to you. I know you're a former SEAL and all, but we have to bring up a very important topic.
All right, let's do it.
All right, what the fuck is that on your head?
Oh man, I knew you were going to bring it up. I knew that's we were
what
talking
is
about
that
this before the
fucking
show, man.
garbage?
Hey, I'm a Kansas boy, man. I grew up just west of Kansas City, so I got the Chiefs shirt on too.
Jesus Christ!
You saw my coffee cup earlier, but I left it in the kitchen. But Kansas, man, born and bred.
So you're a corn shucker
over here. I got to represent over here.
Whatever.
On this side of Missouri.
Oh God! I think I'm gonna throw up in my mouth.
As a Brewer fan, I'd like to thank you for Lorenzo Kane. We appreciate it.
Hey man, he did for us what he needed to do. He got us the ring, and I was happy to see him go somewhere and get paid. So,
Linda Lopez throws in the room. Vinny is hot. I don't know if she needs glasses or.
All right, so
I can see the sweat dripping too.
It's not sweat; it's Crisco.
He started describing this guy.
What's that?
I started sweating when he started describing it.
Oh, when I was describing Instructor V. I did, yeah. I got a little hot and bothered myself.
Was he a Master Chief?
Not at the time. At the time, he was like a first class. Maybe he had just made chief, or was like a select. Like by the time that I left.
You're on the air. Nothing's off the table. Go ahead, caller. This better not be Jeff. Chiefy, Jeff.
Just a side note, it does take, when I called in on the other show, it does take, it plays some weird, funky stuff, and then it eventually comes on. So give him a minute.
All right. Go ahead, caller. You're on there and nothing's off the table.
Talk, Daniel. Oh, okay. What's up, Andy?
I knew it was going to be you. What's up, Jeff?
What's up, brother? Real quick, man, I just want to tell you a story. I've been saving this for your show. Probably about 10 years ago. I was delivering furniture. And we brought the furniture in, and the guy had pictures on his wall and stuff, and he had like battleships and everything on his wall, and he's probably about 80 years old.
Hey, Jeff, just so you know real quick, I got to retire next year. Can you maybe speed up the story?
Whatever.
Hey, you do you, Jeff. You do you.
No, but he was about 80 years old, and we brought his stuff in, and he was just like, he had all these pictures of battleships and stuff, and we were like, man, that's awesome, man. And I shook his hand, and he,
Dude, I don't mean to bust your balls, but for fuck's sake, can we get to the end of the story by 2020?
Daniel, I gotta go Christmas shopping in a month.
You know I love you, brother, but for God.
Here, who is all on here? I love this shit. No, but he came on, man, and he just shook her hand, and he was like, thank you. And I shook his hand. I was like, bro, thank you for sacrificing your life.
Technically, he didn't sacrifice his life.
Like 80 years old. He just started crying. And then his wife.
He must have been a team guy.
You know.
Actually, Jeff failed to mention this was actually in a nursing home where they specialized in dementia.
Oh, shit. All right, let's get real. All right. I'm on here now. I got my headphones in. I'm ready to go.
Well, it's about fucking time. The show's over. Shit.
No, it's not. It's just getting started. So what's happening?
I don't know. I fell asleep halfway through between 80 and Battleship. I'm not sure what happened. Who that? Who there?
Hey, try not to suck any dick on the way from the parking lot.
All right, buddy. Hey, we're going to let you go. We'll give you an opportunity for somebody else to call in.
He's been gone for the whole
the
entire song. He was out of there.
Someone with a pulse.
Hey, Stewie, what do you do now as a civilian?
So as a civilian, my title is Executive Protection Program Manager. And so I work for a private security firm, and we provide security, executive protection, driving, all this kinds of stuff to Fortune 500 companies all over the world, not just here in the States. So
not a male nurse.
I'm not a male nurse. But
hey, Vinny, go fuck yourself.
I
do wish I could.
So you don't wear Crocs to work.
We only wear Crocs once we're on the floor, not actually
Crocs,
to work.
No Crocs to work. I wear my boots, some jeans, and a bolo, and I tell you what, I rock it. I make it look good.
As opposed to scrubs.
Yeah, versus
Crocs.
scrubs. But I would make that look good too.
Wait, did you say bolo? Did you say you wore a bolo and made it look good?
A polo, yeah.
Oh, a polo. I thought you said a bolo. My bad.
Oh no, I'd probably make that look good too.
Really need to work on your self-confidence, buddy.
Yeah. All humility here, guys.
So you don't carry a rectal thermometer as part of your gear?
Oh no, I have one of those. But
okay.
I wasn't like, they didn't give me one at work. That was my own.
Rectal thermometer? Is that the one that's the size of a pickle?
Yeah.
I'm looking at Andy over here. He's like, yeah. The size of a pickle is actually kind of small.
He was a gherkin.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, back to my job stuff. The best way I can describe it is we hire guys to do basically what he does on Taken for the first 10 minutes of the movie. That's what we do, and that's what I did for about 3 years. I was actually one of the guys getting out there doing the physical stuff. Worked with some celebrities, worked with some CEOs of some major corporations, multi-billion-dollar companies all over the world, and got promoted to sit in an office and work out all the logistics of it now, and talking with clients and setting it all up. So no, I enjoy my job. It's good stuff.
So I bet you liked having clients like Vinny, because you knew you didn't have to run a lot. You weren't going to be on the move a whole fucking lot.
Yeah.
You could stake out the restaurants ahead of time.
I was going to say, yeah, when we go do our advances, we find out where the best barbecue is. Yeah.
Occasionally, got to bring me over to my cardiologist.
Yeah, always have an AED on station just in case.
Absolutely. I need to have it 4 times a day.
You're like the Chris Farley character on the old Bear skit. How many heart attacks is that for you there, Vinny? That's a big dozen for me right there.
So Renee Marie says, well, he is kind of good looking from the neck up. How about we see him from the neck down? You don't want to see Vinny from the neck up or down. So, and I know who you're referring to, but we're not going there. But anyway,
we'll keep it where it is.
Yeah. Thank God.
Seen a grown man naked.
What's your fondest memory of being in the teams?
Just the
thermometer.
Besides the barrel games, no, I would say just the camaraderie, dude. That brotherhood, that connection that you have with those guys who, day one when you meet them, you don't know them from Adam, but they become closer to you than any of your family, really. Experienced a lot of stuff with those guys, lost a couple really close friends along the way, but, you always got your brothers. And when I made the choice to get out, it was very, very hard, but I was ready to kind of take a new step. I knew going in I wasn't going to be one of those lifers, one of those 20-year guys, but I knew it was definitely like an awesome, looking at you over there. I just knew it was going to be a great stepping stone, in my life, and it was good stuff, man.
Some funny ass comments in the room, man.
Dude,
I got to share with you.
Making fun of my...
No. I got to share. So Dave Rhodes says Vinny can't see himself from the neck down. And then Loser Radio says Vinny hasn't seen his dick since Reagan was in office. That's what I was laughing at you, Stu.
Oh, okay. It's all good.
This time. But
the best one is Vinny's blood type is gravy.
Hey, get the fuck off of Vinny, all right? Just he's a little sensitive. Leave him alone over there.
You guys need to give him some.
I don't have a
give
soul.
him a break, man. Give him a break.
No.
Vinny, you're a good man for sticking up with this, man.
Oh, please.
Coming back for a day in and day out.
Feelings, it would bother me. So, Stewie, was it difficult adjusting? What kind of adjustment was it going from noble warrior to civilian puke?
Oh man, it was actually pretty easy. I think I got lucky, getting the job that I had. So it kind of kept me around like-minded people. A lot of people that were former military, guys that are police officers, former cops, former CIA, DEA, FBI. We got a lot of people that work for us around the country that a lot of like-minded people, that type A personality. So, I had that job 6 months after I got out off of active duty, and you're right back in it. The camaraderie's there. People just get you. Kind of like what you were just saying. People with no feelings. And so it's great that you can just kind of like poke fun at each other, and nobody cares.
Plus, the money's a lot better, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I could get used to that.
Yeah, I bet. So I know back before the first Gulf War, there was a lot of animosity between the different variants of special operations, Green Berets, SEALs, PJs, and that. Did you find much of that when you were in, or was it more of hey, we're one combined team, let's just go fucking kick indoors?
You meet guys over time and they become good friends with you, and you're able to poke fun at one another at that point. But right up front, I try to, like everybody else, they did what they thought was the best move for them, in their career path, and that's great. I've always been told, even growing up when I was younger, SEALs, that's going to be tough. That's going to be the toughest thing you've ever done. They're the most elite of the elite. And, I work with some of these guys, and some of them are great. Some Green Berets, some Rangers that would probably make great team guys. But I actually had some guys in my platoon that were previous MARSOC guys. And they're like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna get out of this. I'm gonna go to Buds, and I want to be a team guy. So you see guys coming from other special forces into the teams. I've never heard of guys getting out of the teams to go do something else.
Right.
So I don't know if that's kind of like a tell right there, just saying that maybe one is just a little bit better than the other. But I've worked with some guys, like I said, that were awesome.
Sure.
Great operators. And then, even in the teams, there's one or two guys that get by and you're like, how did this guy make it here?
10% rule, man.
Yeah. So, it's going to happen. But I never felt like I was better than anybody else. I didn't look at us as a group. I think as a group, we operate better than most. But
so one of the listeners wants to know if you knew Chris Kyle.
No, I did not. But I do have my chief in my first platoon was really good buddies with him. They went through Buds together and did their first couple pumps in the teams together to Iraq and stuff, and they were good buddies. So when all that happened, it was pretty hard on a couple guys that I did know. And to lose a guy in the teams, it's rough when it happens, just because it's such a small community.
Sure.
And you may not know somebody, but you know somebody that knows somebody.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, mad respect for you, because most people don't know, but when Scotty Wirtz was killed in Syria, Scotty Wirtz was a former SEAL that went to work for the DIA, and he was killed in January of this year, working for the DIA. And during his funeral, you didn't know him, but you showed up. And,
yeah, absolutely.
That's mad respect.
But I knew a handful of the guys that were there, and it was good to see them.
Right.
You always wish it's better circumstances.
Of
but
course.
It seems like a lot of these guys, like myself, that get off of active, the only time you ever really see them is when you're flying somewhere to go to a funeral or something, memorial service, which is unfortunate. But
by the way, I saw his parents today.
Oh yeah, they're doing all right.
Yeah, they are. Believe it or not. So
that's good. That's good.
Yeah, they're really good people. They're handling them as good as you could possibly handle losing a son. But the comfort, talking to his dad and everything, the comfort is in the fact that he died doing what he absolutely loved doing. And I'm sure he wouldn't have wanted it to be any other way. But
that's exactly what it's all about. With the guys that have been really close to, that I've lost in Afghanistan, that's something that their parents have even told us. When we sent a couple of the guys' bodies back, and a couple of us actually got to chauffeur the bodies back to the States and do the memorial services and stuff, and then get sent back out. But you see their parents, and you know why these guys are so tough, because of the parents that they have, and their mothers, both of them. But
I think we're losing you a little bit.
They held it all together.
I think we're losing you a little bit.
You losing me?
Yep. That's all right. Hey,
Yeah.
let's we'll get back with you. We're gonna just go ahead and click out. I'll give you a call later. Thanks for coming on the show. And I'll touch base with you later. I'd rather we just cancel your portion of it now and get you back on at a later date than have it continuously glitch for the audience. But brother, thank you so much for coming on the show.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I got nothing. What about you, Stezo?
Refresh the page, Andy.
Hey, see if you can refresh the page. If you can hear me, let me. Anyway.
All right, dude.
So, Vinny, tell me about your green eyes, buddy.
They're dreamy. Contrary to popular belief, they are not my cataracts getting moldy. Not to say that other parts of my body aren't moldy, but I have no cataracts.
I bet that fucking seat chair is going to be moldy after this episode.
Doing my best.
Are you moist? There we go. Is this a little bit better?
My bad.
Yeah.
I see you guys.
Yeah, you're still kind of hanging up, buddy. You're freezing up.
Spectrum. These guys.
Yeah, fuck Spectrum. Anyway, I'm gonna let you go. I'll hit you up here in a little bit. But thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Stewie.
If you guys hear me, I very much appreciate it. Thank you guys. If you guys can hear me.
All right, brother. We'll talk soon. Hey, what's going on over there?
So, Andy, how was your day today? Did you lance any boils?
No, it was actually pretty shitty. Actually. I didn't lance any boils, but I was all over the fucking Admiral's dick today. Hey, I knew that would fucking... Something had to wake you up.
Things like sex in here.
that perked his fucking eyes up. But anyway, how was your day, Vinny?
My day was wonderful. I'm sad to see Stewie go unceremoniously.
Yeah.
I was just about to try to set up a show bit where he waterboards you. I wanted to see how much I'd have to pay him for that.
You can't rape the willing, pal. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm interested in this shit that happened last night in the room. Yes, I'm bringing that up.
I actually had a discussion with Mike. There's a certain person that Mike had blocked. She apparently, from what I understand, was not able to leave well enough alone. Started harassing Mike's girlfriend, who, by the way, is way out of Mike's league, from what I understand. And
brownie points.
I, on advice from a mentor, if I may, I decided to unblock her, but completely ignore her, and took about 11 hours for her to completely melt down, and I enjoyed every second of it.
What the fuck is going on? I'm confused. That's okay. Doesn't take much to confuse me. So you blocked her and ignored her, and then she just...
No.
Well, what the fuck was it all about?
This is Mike. Mike just dislikes her.
Oh, Mike dislikes her. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Mike fucking...
And he's a jerk off. But, he tried to take the high road, this one rare opportunity to do so, and it worked out well.
Well, some old dogs can learn new tricks, I guess. But anyway, no.
He'll fuck up again.
Well, I'm sure. I heard he's a fat fucking bastard.
It's only a matter of time.
So, all right, I'm not done. I want to stir it a little bit more because I'm an asshole like that. So this lady, I don't even know who it was giving Mike's girlfriend shit just because, or is there history there?
I think what happened is last night on the show, Mike made some comments. Rail, just comments about the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think what happened is Rail acknowledged one of Mike's comments, which kind of triggered a memory inside this particular goat-headed woman. And she remembered that Mike had blocked her close to a year ago. And she began braying at Mike's girlfriend. She was obviously upset that Mike was no longer paying attention to her. So she basically, with cloven hoofs, typed out some messages about Mike from the safety of a block. And Mike's way out of his league girlfriend took umbrage to such an attack, particularly when Mike, who frankly is a superhero to most that meet him, was able to defend himself. So, like the way out of Mike's league girlfriend that she is, she decided to take up in Mike's defense. Did it very well. I had some consultations again with a godlike mentor, if I may refer to Rail as such, and excuse me, Mike did, from what I understand. So, broke character there.
Oops.
So after this conversation with my heavenly father, we decided that the best thing for Mike to do, not me, I'm Vinny, was to unblock this cloven-hooved, goat-headed freak. And so I did message her once. I asked her very nicely. Oh, fuck, I keep breaking character. Can we pause and rewind? Oh, thank you.
We'll edit it and post.
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as you know.
So I lost my train of thought.
You were telling me a very bad story.
A brief announcement, and I let this person know that she was unblocked, and I gave her an option. Mike gave her an option. Boy, it's harder and harder. Mike gave her an option as I read, as I was following this very closely. Mike gave her an option to thank him for unblocking her. And,
wait, did we just have a Peter Brady moment?
Was to tape up the windows in her trailer and blow the pilot light out of her stove. Evidently, she did not do that. Mike proceeded to ignore her for the rest of the evening. Going into the next morning, she promptly told me to drop dead, which Mike to drop dead, which, I mean, Mike's one fucking Big Mac away from dropping dead anyway. So really, what the fuck? So,
touche, brother.
As far as I know, Mike is still alive. I know he actually cut himself at work today and bled. It was toothpaste coming out, so it's really minute to minute. But yeah, she blocked Mike promptly 11 to 12 hours later, just as Christ Rail suggested that she might.
Christ Rail. So there, right.
Story as I know it.
Yeah, Mike. Sure. Anyway, Christine Morgan is.
Aren't you glad you asked that fucking question?
What? What question?
I know. I forgot it too.
Yeah. No, I said Christine Morgan is made a comment in the room that says, "I had no private messages. Keep the lie straight."
Yeah, there was no private messages. I don't know what she's talking about.
I don't know either, Christine, because actually this is Vinny on the show here tonight. I'm not. I mean,
Mike did not mention there were any private messages.
Speaking of keeping the lie straight, that's Vinny in the chair.
I wouldn't know if they were private messages because I was just going by what the post I saw.
Because you're fucking Vinny.
Yeah, exactly.
From New York. Forget about it. Uh-oh.
Oh, this ought to be good.
Should be good. And hey, caller, you're on the air with Nothing's Off the Table. Who we're speaking to? Hello, caller. You're on the air. Who we speaking with? Anyway, so there it was. Looking at the comments in the room. And hey, caller, you're on the air. Are you
You
there?
know who the fuck this nigger?
What's this?
What?
Who's this?
Oh, is this another one of those hysterical, show-stopping prank calls?
Hey, I'm sorry, caller, you're breaking up. Sorry, we'll have to have you call back and try again. Anyway, moving right along.
Hour or two, it gets funny.
Yeah, we don't condone the use of that word on this show. Nothing is off the table except that. So thank you for calling and try again
Goodbye.
later. Yeah. Thank you, drive through. Anyway, Rich came in the room. Sorry I'm late. Signals sucks at work. Yeah, signals suck everywhere. Everything sucks. Linda says, yo, she needs cement shoes. I can hook her up, she can be roommates with fucking Jimmy Hoffa. Forget about it. Anyway, speaking of Jimmy Hoffa.
Way out of his league girlfriend is very witty, too. Much funnier than Mike.
Clearly. So speaking of Jimmy Hoffa.
We weren't speaking of Jimmy Hoffa. I don't even know where that fucking came from.
Oh. Anyway, so Christine says, sorry, I thought he said he wrote to me. Anyway, getting boring. Well, sorry to bore you. I could have Vinny take off his shirt, but then it wouldn't be boring, but it wouldn't be pretty either. Anyway, moving right along. So, no, it was really cool that Stewie came on. I'm glad he did. Next time we're going to have him actually here in studio, so things will be much better as far as connectivity goes. But
how close does he live to you?
Not far, really. But like he said, he got caught up at work and everything, and shit happens, man. Especially when you're in the line of work that he's in. When the call comes in, you gotta answer it. So, anyway, Renee says true story. Starting to sound like a soap opera. Night, guys. Night. We're not talking about that anymore, but good night. Anyway, getting back to Hoffa, that fucking guy. Weren't you guys, related?
Distantly.
Distantly, okay.
Everybody in New York.
Well, that's kind of the point I was going to, yeah. Yeah. So let's hear some cool New York stories. I got a New York story when I was there for Fleet Week.
Your New York stories are probably cooler than mine. When you live there, it's just every day. It's
Touche. Fair enough. Well, I'll tell you a Fleet Week story from New York. I think I told you guys this offline, but I'll say it again since we're online. A buddy of mine, we were in Fleet Week in 2008 in New York, and of course we had to go everywhere in whites in our uniform and everything. And a buddy of mine and I were walking down, and we'd been shockingly drinking quite a bit. And there were two girls from Deck Division in front of us, walking in front of us. And we come along the side of the road, and there's this big muscle-bound dude in a muscle shirt unloading his car, putting his groceries and shit on the side of the road. And they're all checking him out and fucking drooling over him and everything. And we told him, we said, hey, give us your camera. Go over there, get a picture with him. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. So we do, and they're all posing with him, hanging on his arms and shit. And his boyfriend walks out. And he looks at me and looks at me up and down. And he says, I love a man in uniform. And, of course, like I said, I've been drinking. I looked at him without skipping a beat, and I said, buddy, I will fuck the fag right out of you. And he just didn't. He didn't know what to say at that point. He's just like, he didn't know whether to be scared, turned on, flattered, whatever. So that was my New York story. Other than getting.
Well, did you?
What's that?
Did you?
Did I? No, he didn't give me the opportunity. No, he got scared. His asshole clenched up like a fucking Fort Knox.
Was that the fourth or fifth time?
Well, it's probably about the seventh or eighth.
Excellent.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like to quit. If I'm going on a mission, by God, I'm not quitting. And if you're pitching, just saying, right?
It's only gay if you push back.
Yeah, that's right. Or back down or whatever. Uh-oh. Steve's a little confused there for a second. I have one word, and it's not math.
Stella.
Yes, my man Vinny coming through.
I wish you guys would leave her out of this.
What's that?
I wish you guys would leave her out of this.
You fight for Anna, man. You do it.
That's right. Do it.
Him, her, whatever you want to call him.
Whatever. I'm not a proud man. Uh-oh. Here we go. Oh, all right. Here's a thought. I think you guys may have touched on it a little bit already, but I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Walmart and fucking guns. Your thoughts? With this whole ban shit that they're coming up with now.
Yeah, it's just a typical leftifying of corporate America, just kowtowing to whatever way the wind's blowing, and I think they can compromise people's rights to try to keep their customers coming in. The two things that they did, I think, with the ammo sales,
Mm-hmm.
is they're going to push the ammo sales to the local sellers, which is where we should be going anyway.
Mm-hmm.
As gun owners, I think we should be spending our money at the small gun shops and keeping the small local FFLs in business. As far as the open carry, I'm very pro open carry, but personally, I think it's the wrong way to go. I think it's tactically unsound.
Mm-hmm.
I think it makes you the biggest target in the room.
Oh, for sure, no doubt.
It's not something I'll do. I think it alienates people. But again, I'm 100% for it being legal. But it still bothers me. But it's not going to affect me because I'm a concealed carry owner. If they try to stop concealed carry, I'm not going to comply. Even
right.
if I still go to the store.
I'm with you. I fully 100 support their right to carry openly like that. Just like I fully support their right to be fucking stupid. Go ahead, Steezo.
Is this an open question for everyone in the room?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. I agree with Vinny. I think if you open carry, you become the target. But if you're going to have an open carry, it should be mandatory that everyone has to carry. Like the Wild West. That's how it should be. That's how it should be.
Yeah. Like I said, I support your right to do it. I personally wouldn't do it, but I also support your right to open your mouth and prove that you're an idiot. Steezo's showing something. Steezo's tried to show us his gun. Yeah, you guys can't see him. Anyway, it just like I support the First Amendment, I support your right fully to say all the dumb shit that you want to say. A lot of times it just shows that you're an idiot, and that's fine. Go ahead and prove it. But I haven't fought for this country for 30 years to fucking I'd be a hypocrite if I were to come out and say something against it, That's why I do what I do. That's why I give the sponge baths that I do.
If you were to come out against the First Amendment, you wouldn't be an idiot. You'd be Antifa.
Yeah.
Which is exactly the biggest fascist terrorist organization growing in this country right now is Antifa, and until they get crushed, they're just going to keep growing. They're just going to keep labeling everybody a Nazi who disagrees with them, and using that as an excuse to meet words with violence.
I think they should change their name from Antifa to just Fuh.
Yeah.
Because they are the fascists.
I'm a pussy. But that doesn't fit on a hat.
Oh, you get a big enough hat.
A pussy hat.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that brings up a whole different topic. But I don't want to go down that road tonight. Anyway, so let's talk about your thoughts on... I'm curious to see what the room's thoughts is arming teachers in schools.
I think the same people who make fun of anybody who says that they're sending thoughts and prayers to people who are victim of mass shootings are also the same people that think teachers should be allowed to defend their students with pleading for mercy. And I think if a teacher wants to, I don't think it should be mandatory, but if a teacher wants to and is willing to go through some training, I think they absolutely should be armed. It's kind of cliche to say, but we use large amounts of firepower to protect money in this country and very minimal amounts to protect children. And even though mass shootings are massively over-exaggerated, the amount of mass shootings in this country or school shootings in this country are ridiculously over-exaggerated. But, the first couple that get their heads turned into a canoe by a teacher with a 45, may slow it down even more.
Meat canoe.
Possibly.
Can we call that a meat canoe?
Meat canoe. Oh, yeah, that's disgusting. I gotta say, Rail just sent me a link, and I don't even know if I can bring that up, man. It just fucking baffles my mind. So, all right, I will. It's let me get to it here. But so residents criticize school district's new gender-neutral dress code. Make everyone wear uniforms. Wow. I read about 2 sentences of it, and I just fucking I couldn't even go on. It's ridiculous. It's like fucking Big Brother, We're getting closer and closer to that. Well, let's face it, socialist communist state that they want to, because we have people that are too afraid to speak up because they're worried about hurting somebody's fucking feelings.
Well, now people are too afraid to speak up because they're afraid of red flag laws.
Mm-hmm. I just saw an article a couple of days ago that there's a former Marine, I think it was, I want to say Oregon or maybe somewhere around there, and he was protesting the protesters, and he basically, in a nutshell, don't quote me on this, but he said, yeah, if they're going to start coming to kill us, I'm prepared and I'll kill them. Something to that effect. And the laws that they passed there, that was a red flag law, and they came in and confiscated his guns.
Yep. That's why walk softly and carry a big stick is really the best way to go.
Yeah. It's fucking mind-boggling.
It is. George Orwell was 100% right. He was just a little bit late.
Well, I think he was right on time.
Happened a little bit later than he anticipated.
Yeah, I think he was right on time, actually. For when he wrote that novel, dude, it's like he was seeing into the future.
Yeah, this is like an Orwellian state that we're dealing with right now, and it's all under this ridiculous guise of promised safety, which doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm. Wait! You mean we don't have the right to feel safe?
Absolutely not.
Oh.
We also don't have the right to not feel offended.
That's
Free
right.
speech. The right to be offended, the right to put somebody on the hot seat, the right to ask questions and say opinions that people don't find comfortable is the cradle of the First Amendment. Mm-hmm. That's what the First Amendment is for.
Right.
If we're not allowed to discuss things openly, I had sent you that video the other day. It's interesting to see the contrast and dichotomy between the two sides.
Mm-hmm.
You try to bring a leftist, anti-Trump person, and it's not even about Trump, but you bring a leftist person into a right-wing demonstration, for lack of a better word, and they try to present their position, welcome the person into coming and seeing for themselves.
Right.
And when the roles are reversed, they're just shouted down, attacked, and then labeled a Nazi,
mm-hmm.
which these fucking people don't have any idea what a Nazi really is.
No clue.
And I just don't see it getting better anytime soon.
Eventually, the pendulum is it's going to have to swing back. I mean, it's about as far as it can go at this point.
Yeah, but does it swing back under a hail of gunfire, or does it swing back just as a natural occurrence?
Well, I would hope that it would swing back under natural occurrence.
I think everybody would.
But I'm not saying that it wouldn't be the other way either. I don't know, dude. There's just I almost don't even have time for all that shit anymore. You know, it's like you just keep your stuff, you keep your family safe, and just avoid those situations. But God forbid, if you come into my home and you threaten my family, just saying. Well, that's probably a red flag. I'll probably be.
Yeah. And again, it's probably cliche, but I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6 any day.
That's right. Go ahead, Rail.
That's Ice Cube. That's an Ice Cube reference.
Here's an interesting one for you guys. You know, because you're talking about the red flag laws and stuff like that, and people that are now actually getting guns confiscated because somebody decided to make a phone call. Mike, not Vinny, but Mike is involved in a couple of different groups, and there's a lot of debates that go on. And there's one guy who actually has admitted openly in the group that he's in that he basically is making dossiers on everybody who says anything that he basically disagrees with. And that's kind of fucking frightening, because that's the power of social media, and that's where that's coming. I think that'd be a good one for you guys to nibble on for a little bit.
We should maybe make a dossier on him.
Mike blocked that guy a long time ago, but he's the one that admits it. You know, I'm sure there's 10 in his place that don't.
Mm-hmm. I think I feel threatened by him doing that. So,
Absolutely.
So where's my red flag?
You don't have one. You're on the wrong side.
Oh.
That's the problem.
But I'm in the middle.
Still the wrong side. Even
right.
if you're a Democrat and not a liberal Democrat, you're on the wrong side.
That's a true story. True story. I don't know. Things, they have to change. The only problem is that side of the house refuses to listen. And just because we may have differing opinions doesn't mean you're right, or it doesn't mean I'm right. They're fucking opinions. And if you want to believe that way, good for you. But I'm free to have my fucking opinion as well. So I miss the times when we could sit down and have a conversation instead of yelling at each other and trying to convince, the other side, or if you're not with my side, then you're against us. Well, no, not necessarily. I don't agree with what you're saying at this point. We have differences of opinion in this room all the time. Do we fucking act like idiots and yell at each other? Okay, bad example. Never mind. Anyway.
We act like idiots, but there's so many guns, at least in the smokehouse here.
The smokehouse.
I fucking agree with anything Rail says, and I hope, he agrees with anything I say, at least we get out the door. I don't think either one of us are looking to a 10-pace duel, but it'd be a good fucking bit, actually.
Hey, Rail, you ever smoke a brisket? No, but I smoked a fucking Vinny once.
Oh, damn. Ouch, that hurt. That's fucked up, man. I wouldn't eat Vinny.
Listen, what happens in the Shedio stays in the Shedio, Stezo.
That's right.
Just calm down.
Once the cameras are off.
Ding, 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 ding.
It's all, you and I have discussed this, Sandy, it's tribalism.
Mm-hmm, totally. 100%.
It's getting, we're getting more and more tribal. And I see it too in myself. There's discussions that I will not bend on. I will not give an inch on when it comes to Second Amendment. Mm-hmm. Every gun law, as far as I'm concerned, is unconstitutional. Do I mind going through a background check? No. Mm-hmm. Do I think it's constitutional? Absolutely not.
So Rich throws in a comment. He said red flags are a backdoor into gaining control over the people until they can't fight back, and that's absolutely true. When Hitler started taking over in Germany, he didn't just come right out and grab all guns and all of a sudden it was the state that it was. It was a slow, insidious process. The first thing that they started out with, and you guys are going to laugh and think I'm bullshitting, but I shit you not, that well, first of all, they weren't even German citizens, right? They weren't allowed to be German citizens. But Jews were not allowed to eat popcorn. And as funny as that sounds, that was a law.
Yeah, it's a test balloon.
Yep, absolutely. And it was enforced. And so from there, they started making sillier and sillier laws to see if the masses would go with it. And the masses did. So
it's
that's
boiling the frog.
Exactly. And that's what we're seeing now. I mean, that's exactly what these red flag laws are. It's just, we let that slide and Lord only knows what's coming next.
And what's interesting? I see more and more people on the left saying that this is a Republican thing. This is a right-wing thing to try to use red flag laws against people like Antifa. And it'd be interesting to see how that pans out, because I don't see it working that way.
No, it could be any further from the truth.
Dude, you have the entire city of Baltimore that does nothing. Their mayor told them the police force to stand down to Antifa.
Right.
They allow this shit to happen in their city.
Mm-hmm.
They when you see the footage from fucking Baltimore, I'm sorry, Oregon. And it's fucking you're like, where is this? Is this in Syria? Is this fucking, where is this happening? And you're like, oh no, that's the United States.
Right.
It's fucking mind blowing.
Doesn't seem so united, does it?
No, it doesn't. We haven't been united since 2008. And I'm not blaming Obama, but I'm saying when Obama took office, the world changed. Every fucking thing in the world changed. We talk about it on this show, on our show, on every show, pre-Obama comedy.
Mm-hmm.
All that shit changed in 2008. Everything. The world changed in 2008 because we elected a black man. I don't care if he's black, pink, purple, it doesn't matter to the color of his skin, but that's when the shit fucking changed.
Mm-hmm. And I'm
divisive president we've ever had.
What's that?
I think he was the most divisive president we ever had.
Absolutely. We were on the cusp of getting rid of this whole... Dude, after 9/11, we came together as Americans. Racism was fucking almost curbed until 2008.
It's hard for me. I guess I kind of have blinders on in a way, because in the military there is some racism, sure, but on the grand scale there's really not much, and I don't see it in the Navy or in the military. So I guess I have this false sense that, well, I guess it's like that in the civilian world, but clearly it's not, not with all this crap that's going on in the news. And of course the news is a whole nother subject, but it's frustrating. It can be depressing if you let it get to you, but that's why I don't want to say I'm in my own little bubble, but I'm kind of sort of am.
Well, you kind of need that these days. You need your own little microcosm, or you'll lose your fucking mind.
Right. God damn, I just lost my train of thought again. What's 2 + 2?
18.
Okay.
That's math hole.
But yeah, Dave says media feeds the hatred, and he's absolutely correct on that.
And the sickest thing about it, and I'm totally pro-capitalism, they feed the hatred to sell you shit.
Of course.
That's all it's about.
Yeah, and it works. Again, I'm going to go back and I'm going to stand with what I said a couple of weeks ago, is I know unequivocally that we do not have a gun problem in this country. We have a mental health problem.
Absolutely.
And a suicide problem.
And a suicide problem. And until we address
a pharmaceutical problem. We have if fucking people hated their goddamn local heroin dealer as much as they hated their fucking neighbor,
sure,
or the person that voted against them, this country would be a fucking much better place.
Mm-hmm. We talk about the mass shootings and they are sad, but where's the fucking media in Chicago? Past week,
every weekend, 7 shot, 39, 7 killed, 35 shot, whatever the fuck it is, every weekend, repeatedly, every weekend in Chicago. No news coverage.
Here's an interesting one for you, and this is kind of like where I love looking at memes on Facebook because sometimes they're hilarious and sometimes they're so fucking on point. I saw a meme the other day, and it said, "When a cop shoots a civilian, nobody blames the gun." Think about that.
Yep.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. It's the same. It's the same in Chicago and in the inner cities.
Well, it's interesting. Chicago became the standard bearer, but it's not even. I don't know. It's not even in the top 5 most dangerous cities anymore. Baltimore is number 6.
Mm-hmm.
It's there's so many places that are even worse than that. But if you try to bring that up, because it's black on black crime, you can't talk about it.
Right.
And it has to be a gun problem. It's not a culture problem. We have a culture problem in this country. It's not a gun problem. It's not an immigrant problem per se. It's not a racist problem. It's a culture problem. And when you can't address the culture of the inner cities being responsible for the lack of respect for life, the disproportionate amount of crime that are committed black versus their own people, it's just going to continue to get worse. And the left, the only answer the left has is Indiana gun laws. There's a problem with Indiana gun laws. That's where the guns all come into Chicago. But the guns coming into Chicago from Indiana aren't shooting people on their own.
Mm-hmm. So actually, Chicago's ranked number 20 as of right now, as most dangerous cities.
Yeah.
Number 20.
Scary as hell.
Minneapolis, Minnesota's 19. We got New Orleans, Louisiana, 18. Let's see. Lansing, Michigan. How about that? The violent crime rate in Lansing is 1,136 per 100,000 residents. Crazy.
Chris Nathan says Jersey has 3 of the most dangerous cities in the country. I'm thinking Camden, Newark. I'm not sure what the third one is, but Patterson. I don't know where they rank in the top 20, though. I don't think they're that high. I know Camden used to be.
It's astounding.
Okay, but regardless of where it is in the country, the fact that the overall fucking number of violent crimes in the United States alone, regardless of the city, let's just as a group, as a fucking country, is that not overwhelming as opposed to we're the freest, we are the happiest people in the world. We're supposed, this is where people are fucking jumping our borders and fucking climbing our brand new built walls that Donald J. Trump is putting up at the southern border to come to this country, and we still have this fucking ridiculously high fucking crime rate.
But is it ridiculous?
Arm everyone. Arm everyone.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Everyone. Make it a fucking law. Arm everyone.
You ain't going to get me to argue with that.
So, interesting. I just pulled up an article for 2019 crime statistics. The most dangerous city, the number 1 right now.
Hold on. I got you, dog.
Give it to me.
Lords Valley, Pennsylvania.
And the number 1 most dangerous city in America, St. Louis, Missouri. How about that shit?
Oh, your own backyard.
Yeah,
You
it
piece of shit.
Makes me feel great, let me tell you.
Piece of shit.
I'm looking for...
How dare you even came up on this show?
Well, that's fucking...
Wait, it's your show. Never mind.
It's embarrassing, man. I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of that at all. Detroit's number 2. Oh, here we go. Milwaukee, number 4.
Yeah, I guarantee you that. That's why I don't live there anymore.
Let's see. Where is Chicago?
Ever since Laverne and Shirley left, town has gone to
That's right. Fond. They have the bronze fonds down on the river. They do have a bronze fonds down there. You can go take your picture with
Are
it.
you serious?
But ever since Fonzie and fucking Laverne and Shirley and Lenny Squiggy, all the motherfuckers left Milwaukee, it just went to shit. Well, I mean, Dahmer kind of brought it down a couple notches. You know, he was like, I work at the chocolate factory. I'm going to eat some fucking gay guys. This is great.
It's funny. You know, I've been watching this series on Netflix.
We had
called
Ed Gein. We had the guys up north.
That's okay. Cut me off.
The Making a Murder. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, it's your show.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. It's called Mindhunter, and it's basically what is it? It's historical fiction, basically, but it's
I thought you were going to say Hispanic.
no. It's I wouldn't do that to Rail. It's
like he's Hispanic, like he can even spell Hispanic.
But it's chronicling the FBI agents and their program when they first started studying serial killers, and it's pretty cool. Season 2 just came out. I binge watched the fuck out of that, and they basically tracked and caught the Atlanta murder, the Atlanta monster, and they're teasing with the BTK killer right now. So I'm sure that'll be the focus of season 3. But it's very interesting how they studied that and how they had to break that mindset that they could actually profile these people instead of well, it can't be this person because he doesn't fit that person would never do that. Well, wrong. It's an interesting show if you guys get a chance to watch it. I'm not getting paid by him, so fuck it. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. Fuck them.
Wait, you get paid for this?
No, I said I don't.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. If you do, you do. You don't, you don't. I don't give a fuck.
You should be on the payroll now, so you should be getting a weekly check from
God damn it, HR. Where's my motherfucking check?
That reminds me, I gave my account and routing number to HR for my direct deposit, but I haven't gotten anything in there yet.
There's a big surprise.
You sent that to me. Yeah, I got your email. Yeah, I got that. No, it'll be there soon. As soon as I drain your bank account, I'll start putting it back in. I'll start putting it back in a little at a time.
Slowly but surely, and don't call me Shirley.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, boys.
If you get a phone call from me, that means I'm calling about your car's extended warranty.
I got a call last night about that. I was laughing.
The funniest thing is, like, I still have a Milwaukee number, so these robocalls, like, I've blocked everyone that comes in. That's what I do. It's a game to me now. But now it's like, not only is it from the area code, Milwaukee area code, but it'll be the first 3 digits of my cell phone number. It'll be 414916. And then I'm like, okay, I get it. This is going to be a robocall.
Yeah.
And then you try and call it back, the number doesn't even exist.
So I guess they're statistically hashing down your phone number.
They're supposed to, the
and
ACC or whatever.
Statistics is math, if I'm not mistaken.
Math means drink, right?
Yes.
I hate you fuckers.
No, you don't. By hate, you mean love. Love to hate.
Your name's not Stella. Fuck off.
So, when's the meetup?
We just had it. It was just like August 10th.
No. That's not the meetup I'm talking about.
What meetup?
You and Stella.
Stella meetup.
Yeah, that's not it. No.
When was it?
Yeah, when was it?
Remember back when, like, I was gonna fucking wax my asshole at the LTR thing, and it was a radio bit? You need to realize when a radio bit's a radio bit.
Sure. I think I'm pretty good at realizing radio bits. Not buying that one. However, I heard that
I'm not on camera. All I have to do is mic down and just let you fucking sit in your own fucking show. I can bye.
2 + 2, bitch. Anyway, let's wrap this up, fellas. It's about that time.
Oh, wait. Do I have the outro?
Oh, we're still live?
Yeah, we're still live.
I thought we were just hanging out.
Do I have the outro?
I don't know.
I'm supposed to play it, right?
Yeah.
All right, so
I don't have a new outro, so just play the old one.
We're going to do it impromptu because I can't find it.
Do it. Anyway, while Stezo is doing that, let me just thank our sponsors. BlueLineFarms.com, PHARMS, Atlas Arsenal, IronBeanCoffee.com, Cliff Park Golf, Coat of Arms Gun Coating, and LocustRidgeDesign.com. Just for you.
Nicely done.
At least we're not dancing on the ceiling.
About to make them dance now. Yeah.
Roll that boy pussy. 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 Roll that boy.
Still is pussy.